These are the viral nails that Selena Gomez and Catherine Paiz wore for their 2025 wedding, that they literally had the same day, and they had the same exact nail design and everything, like the nail shape and everything. So today we're going to be refilling, reshaping, and recreating their sets. So if you want to see what these famous celebrities got on their wedding day and why they're so popular, keep on watching. I'll show you how we could do it too. Okay, so this is my prior set. I am missing one nail, but let's get started. We are going to be shaving down most of the product on top. This was an acrylic full set with a French white with pink gel polish on top. So we got a French design right here that we got to remove. I'm using the 5-in-1 Hannah Bic. I love it. You can get it on Amazon. And I'm just going to start removing most of the product on the nail. So we're getting rid of a lot of that acrylic because, like I said, we're doing a refill, but we're also reshaping, right? So we have to make sure we get rid of most of that product so we can have an easier way to reshape it, or else it really takes a while to reshape with just the file. I'm going to show you because I had to go back at one point to remove a little bit more product, but here, after removing most of the product, right, most of the acrylic to condense it down, I'm just removing the shine off the natural nail with the sanding band. These are card lash sanding bands, and I'm using my Melody Susie drill. If anybody's interested in what drill that is, you can purchase it on Amazon, and they also have a website. Now that we took off some of that product, right, we needed it as thin as possible, not like a regular refill where you leave most of the acrylic on. We had to get rid of most of it so that way we can reshape a lot easier. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, you know what, I have to remove more, because after the thumb and the pointer, I was like, okay, it's too bulky. We got to get rid of more product. But as far as you can see here, I'm reshaping already, and I'm just kind of going in an angle from one side to the other. So I'm removing a lot of the product on the sides and then softening the bottom parts so that it can create kind of like an almond, but they're kind of too short to be an actual almond. So we're just going to round them off a little bit as much as possible to give them that illusion that they're like an almond shape, because now they're grown out even more, you guys. My actual natural now, and they're an actual almond right now. So we are trying to replicate what Catherine and Selena got for their wedding. And they got it looks more like an almond because it's just a tiny bit longer than mine, but still at a very like medium. I would say they got like medium length, right? Mine's, I would consider these a lot like a shorter length. But regardless, you can get similar shaping doing it like this, even if the length is just a little bit smaller. So in case you guys are like, oh, I can't get it like Selena and Catherine's wedding nails because theirs are medium length and mine's are a little bit shorter. Yes, you can. They may not be almond, but they're going to resemble the same almond like design. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I am using Young Nails primer for my natural nails. You want to place this on top of the natural nail, let it dry a little, and add a second coat. I'm going to go and start with the application with the acrylic, and this is Perfect Nude by not by Young Nails, by Valentino, and the monomer is by Young Nails. My brush is a C&D brush. I got that one at Cosmoprof. I don't know if they sell it online, but they probably do. I think C&D has a website, I'm pretty sure. Very high-end products there. I love their products. This brush has been with me for years, so that's how you know that it's pretty good quality. Okay, so you saw that I added the first bead, making sure it's not too wet. For a lot of people that haven't been practicing their beads, make sure you practice your beads. That's really going to kill or make your application, right? So I'm testing it with the first bead. That always happens. I feel like a lot of nail techs kind of realize what their consistency is going to be when they apply that first bead on the first nail, right? So I'm kind of noticing that it's starting to dry pretty quick. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to be having to move a little quicker because the room temperature is probably not too cold. It's probably just on the more, not hotter side, but it's probably more towards a warmer than colder temperature in the room. I don't remember if I had like an air conditioner on or not. So I'm going with the flow here. I'm testing out the first bead, and now I know that I got to move a little quicker. So we're going to apply a bead right there on top of the, well, where we removed the acrylic. There's like a little space open where you have to do the refilling, and you're just applying it right there near the cuticle area, and then you're going to start patting to the sides and bring that product down. You just light touches at the bottom, feather it down, pick up another bead, make sure it's a perfect consistency. And there is a little white you can see right here. That means it might be drier right there. And then the other side looked a little bit wet. So I was like, okay, it looks like a decent bead. Not too bad, not too dry, not too wet. So just know we're going to have to move a little bit here, a little faster. And as long as you place it really neatly on top and underneath the skin, then you should be good to like move it around, bring it down, let the product work for you. Gravity is going to help you a lot. You just have to know about where to place the acrylic. You place it, you spread it out, and the whole time as well, you guys, you may not see this, but I am cleaning my brush in between like applications, because if not, then you're going to have a messy brush to work with, and it's not going to help work for you. Picking up small beads to add wherever any missing product needs to be. And that's pretty much the refill part. So we did the reshaping, we just refilled, and we are going to start kind of reshaping the nails again just a little bit, because you did apply acrylic. It's kind of like when you apply gel on a finished nail. The gel can kind of take away from the shaping that you created. So you have to kind of reshape it back a little bit, not too much. You're not going to be overworking with this part here. You just want to clean the edges and soften them back up a little bit before we go to the next step. All right, as you can see, I'm doing the same motion that I did when I first shaped them. I'm going from one side to the other, and I'm also kind of going underneath and filing underneath, because sometimes acrylic can get stuck there while you're filing. All right, it's hardened, and I need to actually start on my pinky, not my thumb, because the pinky was the first one that I applied the acrylic on. So I should really be doing the pinky first, but I guess like my Mexican people say, se me fue la onda. So we're going to actually start shaving down the pinky. So let's focus on the first application, because for sure that's already hardened. You don't want to risk doing the last one you did. It could still be wet. Right now I'm at number 1 on my Melody Susie drill. So I'm not really going super fast with the drill. It's actually at a actually it's on the lowest setting, because I don't need, if you're applying the acrylic as clean as possible, you don't need a lot of power on the drill. Meaning you're going to have probably less likely to like hurt yourself, and you're going to be able to you're using it basically just to clean it up a little bit. That's how I describe it, because there's not much going on. You're just going from one side of the nail to the opposite, and you're focusing on the cuticle area. You're sealing that acrylic so that there is a fine space in between the skin and the fake nail, the fake extension. A really important tip is to keep the drill parallel to the nail. You don't want the bit to basically stab your skin or give you ring of fire by leaving it at an angle facing towards down. All right, so we're literally going side to side horizontally, and we're also using the drill vertically. So that's what I like to do. That's just specifically what works for me. I like to do that. Some other people may do something different, but for me, I like to go side to side, like right here. And I also like to go around the cuticle area, and then I also like to do the whole vertical up and down the nail. So this is a much easier part. We're just buffing the surface of the nail extension, and these are from Amazon. I always buy these from Amazon. If not, I just go to my local nail supply store around here. You might find these famous orange buffers there, but for sure they have them on Amazon. And we're cleansing the nails with some nail cleanser from ASP and my manicure brush. I get these from Sally's. I always buy them at Sally's because I love the color that it comes in. Usually they have the pretty pink one. All right, so we got our gel ready to go because we're about to start adding some gel polish. So for this particular chrome effect, we are going to be using some top coat. This was getting old. I'm glad about a new one, but this was, I was like, I'm going to use it until I can no longer use it because it was still workable, but the consistency did start changing, but it wasn't a big deal. It was still doing what it had to do. So we're going to apply this on all the nails, and I'm going to add the chrome effect right after this. We have to actually cure this in the lamp for 1 minute because it is the top coat that we're applying here to attach the chrome. So every top coat is usually 1 minute to cure. Make sure you guys stick to the very end so you can see the final reveal of my recreation of the wedding nails of 2025, worn by Catherine Paiz and Selena Gomez. It's really important to have a cleanup brush nearby with some acetone in case you have to clean around the skin. We do not need contact dermatitis. We do not need to have any allergic reaction or to like overexposure or anything like that. So cleaning up around there is going to really save you some trouble and some pain probably. So we're going to pick up one of these nail art sponges. I believe I bought this at I think it was at the local nail supply store. I think it was not Amazon, but I'm pretty sure Amazon has them. This is the OPI Chrome Effect that I'm using. I got this particular one years ago at Cosmo Prof, and they do probably sell them online. I'll try to find a link so you guys can order it if you're interested. I'll try to find a link to who sells it or where you can find it. Maybe Amazon has it, I'm not sure. But this is really easy. As soon as you pick up some of the powder and you go on top of the nail after curing it for 60 seconds, then it will go on just like this. I personally, I wouldn't say use whatever top coat. Make sure it's a non-tacky top coat because some of them are kind of tacky and they will not adhere properly. So make sure, most of them are nowadays, but I remember back then when they didn't feel like they were like tackless. But for sure, the Koopa top coat is forever my favorite top coat to use for everything. All right, after the first application, now that you've filled up every little inch of each nail, make sure it's all completely filled in. You wouldn't want any empty parts that don't have chrome on it, basically. So we're going to dust off that excess chrome on our skin that fell everywhere, and it's probably underneath and around the skin of our nails. So our next step is going to be to close off the nails, and we're just going to grab a top coat again and apply that on every single nail and cure it. I just want to say how amazing it is for these two women that shared similar experiences in their prior relationship of heartbreak and betrayal and how they are in this new season of life. And ironically, they got married the same day. So, and they're two of the biggest people in the world if you really think about it. Selena Gomez with mainstream media and Catherine Paiz with the influencer world. They're very known in their own elements. And I just think it's beautiful for such beautiful and powerful women that did go through a lot to finally find their love of their life and to experience a new life with a new person, with different circumstances. So I just want to say congrats to them both. All right, so now we are working on our other hand. So we're going to be using the non-dominant hand to control a lot of what we're doing. I am going to do a nail repair. We have a missing nail on the pointer. So we're going to grab a tip, add some glue, and leave it there for 10 seconds. And we are going to cut that, and it is going to be like a square. So I'm going to show you how to shape that nail repair right there so it can match the rest of the nails. So with the file, you're basically doing the same exact thing. You're going to go from one side to the other, kind of at an angle. It's kind of like you're creating a stiletto, but you're not going to make it pointy. You're going to make it round and soft at the end, at the at the French part, at the free edge. That's where you need to soften the bottom. So you're taking the file, you're going from one side and you're going from one side to the other in order to make sure you're not taking too much off one side. So you can see me alternating one side to the other and meeting in the middle in a sense to soften it up. Right here, I'm just comparing to my other nail. I can't really see through that glove, but I was like, okay, let me just maybe measure it with my middle finger because they are next to each other. So you can make sure that they're evened out by comparing it to the finger next to it. So that would be the middle finger. But I'm going from one side to the next. It's really that easy. You're just angling it. Here's a slower version. So we have it like slanted and not we're not going crazy on one side. Do not focus on one side. Focus on going from one side to the other. It'll make it so much easier and you won't have any issues when you're like, wait, I filed way too much on one side. No, you're going to go from one side, remove some product, shaping it on one side, and then you're going to go to the other side, and then you're going to eventually start blending the bottom and softening it to your liking. I really hope how I'm describing it is making sense. This is how I would describe it to like a friend that I'm teaching. So I would tell them like, look at it. This isn't an almond because it's shorter. I feel like it's more of a rounded now, but we're trying to still create that same almond look in a sense, even though it's not going to be completely the same. Then the next thing it's going to be, again, we're going to remove the shine off the natural nail because we're trying to fill in that nail. So we have to have a clean surface and it can't be shiny because then that means there could be oily substance coming from your own body that will create lifting and slip off right off your nail, right? So make sure we're removing that shine just like the other nail. I think I lost footage of removing the shine, so I do have footage of the opposite hand just so you remember what that looks like. And right here, I am cleansing the nails a little bit because we're getting them ready to apply some primer onto the nails. And we're going to be using a Young Nails primer. Okay, so now we're going to use our monomer and our powder to apply our acrylic. I am going to be starting with the thumb, and we're just going to pick up a bead and start working our way down from the cuticle to the bottom. But it's basically the same thing. Just make sure that you're creating a lot of stability on your left hand if that's your non-dominant hand. If you have to put your hand on something to apply the powder, that's even better. It'll create more stability. And just try to use your hand that you are applying the product onto. Try to angle it, and whatever it's making the other hand feel comfortable to apply it. Do whatever you have to do. Just start to pay attention to what the left hand is doing, and how, if it's unstable or something like that, just re-stabilize and then try to apply again. Don't apply on an unstable hand, because it's probably going to get messy and all over the place. Just try to create your own stability however you feel comfortable. For some people, you can put your hand on top of like the lamp or anything like that, on top of a acrylic container, whatever feels comfortable to you, so that you have that stability and prevent all that mess. I'm a little bit getting used to not having to use something to stabilize my hand, but everybody's different. So just figure out what works for you. All right, so now we're buffing. After buffing, we cleanse the nails and we are ready to apply the top coat. Same Koopa top coat. Love it so much. I ordered another one, so I'm so happy to use it for another video and for my nails. And once again, we are applying the gel top coat to apply the chrome. Here's the back of the chrome. I didn't show you guys last time, but it's Tin Man Can from OPI. Chrome Effects. Love it so much. I have a couple of their chromes, and you guys, I've had them for years. Years. After taking clients, using them on me, I've had them for years. So I don't know. It's just, one, it's really high quality, and two, they last forever. I highly recommend. Now we have the little sponge for nail art or chrome, whatever people use these for. Some people use it to do the aura effects. A lot of people use it for chrome or whatever you need it for, right? Use this. These are really good to have in hand, and it comes with a little funny stick that picks it up with like four little claws. So cute, fun to use. I think I got this at the nail supply store. You can probably find one on Amazon, but we're just applying the chrome. This is a super easy thing to do. Make sure you're just filling up every little area that needs to be filled up, and we're going to clean and keep everything nice and in order. Let's remove the dust. All right, so we're applying the top coat. We have to be super careful with this. We don't want any product on the skin. If it does get on the skin, clean it up with a cleanup brush. And once we apply it to all of the nails, we're gonna add this hand into the LED lamp so that it can cure the gel fully for 60 seconds. And the final touch is to add some cuticle oil, and the final reveal is here. Look at the final reveal. These are my recreated nails, just like Selena Gomez and Catherine Paiz, just like their wedding nails of 2025 that became super popular. It's just with some chrome on top of a nude on any nail structure you want. Mine was acrylic. All right, if you guys have any video content ideas, please let me know. You could either DM me on Instagram, or you can also comment down below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and giving me some of your time. Until next time, love you guys.